Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Build Your Best Life. I am super excited to have you here with us today because you could have been anywhere else, but you decided to join us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate all of your prayers, your likes, your comments, and your shares. Keep them coming. We appreciate them so much. Good evening to my guest, Tonya. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And if you follow me consistently, you remember her from last month, but she is back.
Yes. Thank you for having me back. Appreciate it.
Thank you. She's going to go ahead and tell us a little bit about herself before we get started.
Yes, I am a mother of two beautiful human beings, two boys that I'm raising to be two beautiful grown men. I am a dancer by trade, and I own my own a dance company that I just started recently on my own. And then I also work in the healthcare field, or have, I should say, a lot of background in the healthcare field.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, we hope you enjoyed our topic that we have for you today. It is entitled PACA. PACA. Now, PACA probably means nothing to anyone, but it's just an acronym. Pros and cons of AI. So we're going to talk a little bit about AI today. The technology is simply the application of scientific knowledge and using things to make processes simpler. And that's just where the world is today, to assist us in gaining efficiencies. Whatever it is, whatever type technology is, like when you get a new phone, sometimes you say, well, why did they take that away? I really love that feature. but they added this and took something else away. So a lot of times there are drawbacks, but still having something new, something that's modern, is just where the world is today.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, so artificial intelligence is just, it can be so amazing. It can offer lots of opportunities for us as people as we're growing. We saw that over the course of time, but like you said, it can also have its drawbacks. It just depends on how we utilize it and how we're applying it in our everyday lives into society and businesses. So I think there could be some good and bad with it, for honestly.
Right. So we don't want to, make this a one-sided thing because I know a lot of people love in what artificial intelligence is bringing to the world, and other people are like afraid. Some of us are afraid. That was just like when I think was it Siri that
Mm,
people said was talking to their kids or whatever. So it can get a little scary, but we want to give you some pros as well as some cons about it. So we're going to start out with the cons. And the first one I'm going to talk about is, well, when you talk about artificial intelligence, basically someone has had to program the I'll call it a bot for lack of a better word. So you're putting the reasoning, the learning, the information into this system. Well, the way people do things when bots have nothing to do with it, people will manipulate data. People are dishonest. So again, we know that it is humans that are working with these machines. So we have to think, is it a friend or a foe? Is it friendly? Is it eerie? Is it helpful or is it confusing? Well, one of the cons that I want to talk about first is security risk. And I think that is probably one of the bigger ones, your security risk, because we all want to feel like we're safe. But artificial intelligence, it is practical and it's where the world has evolved. However, people should do their own due diligence to determine the pros and cons, because no matter what we talk about today, what you read, there are always some things that others can find out on your own. And you don't want it to be a case of when you're really in a dark place and you find out something is not going right. But AI can contain it tons and tons of data. And sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, the data can be manipulated, it can be misinterpreted. And as I was doing research, I found out that, it's just like anything else. It can even, you can manipulate it to think what you want it to think and answer in the way that you ask the question. So if you ask a question in a certain way, it will cause them to respond a certain way. So some things I found is um, it can get things wrong, and a percentage of the incorrect information or flaw they call AI hallucinations. So if you want to blame it on the machines, then they're hallucinating. They don't know what it is that they're giving out. Uh, it can be biased, as I mentioned earlier, because it can be manipulated to respond with leading questions. And so that's, I know a lot of people have said, now when you're on the phone and you get these robocalls, or people don't respond to anything they ask you with yes. Make sure that whatever you do, you don't say yes, because they can take your voice and place it on another question. Do you agree to this 199 a month? And then they have your voice saying yes. So you have to be very, very careful of what it causes you to say. So I hang up. It can be corrupted by manipulating the data that we use to train trade model. And this technique is called data poisoning. And as I was thinking about it today, I didn't get a chance to research it, but I remember watching this movie. And I want to say it was like it was a CSI, but it was something along those lines where this robot had killed someone. They were trying to figure out how did it kill a person and why. But again, it was because someone had manipulated the data to cause them to do that. It wasn't this machine just went berserk, because that was what the person that manipulated it wanted everyone to think, was that it just went berserk. You just couldn't trust these machines, but they had actually went into the hardware and programmed it to do this. So you just have to be careful, because again, it's not human. All right. And also, it can be mishandled and create what they call toxic content and injection attacks. So it's all kinds of terms, there's all kinds of things going on. So talking about security, that is scary for me. So prompt injection attacks are among the most widely reported problems with AI, and it's caused with what they call as LLM, but that's large language models. So it's got all this information going into it. So you're feeding it with a lot of information. So you're getting a lot of bad information that can cause issues. And I don't know so much as it is a security risk, but the thing that gets me now is when you need a live person and you know it is a live person is the only one that can help you with what you got. But it's like they're saying, well, you have to tell me I can get you the right person, but you're not going to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it takes a while with that. But just remember, there are security risks. So be very, very careful if you're getting something new that operates with AI.
Yes, I really liked how you were describing the manipulation that can take place, just even off of the simple things by saying yes. That did not, I mean, I know I've heard that, and I think growing up we've all heard that, but it just didn't even cross my mind in terms of AI and using the word yes to then transplant it into anything they may want to use it for. So yeah, it can be very tricky with the manipulation that people have designed it to be used for or could be used for.
Yes.
Absolutely. Um, one of the things that we also hear a lot about is job displacement because of AI. And you actually hit upon it earlier when you were saying how people are programming these AI things. And so they are literally using human beings to now, as their like platform or their model for these AI things. And essentially, that's exactly what it's going to, or possibly going to do, is replace the people that it's actually gathering the information from. I was thinking about um, the mass production of cars and how back in the day it used to be people used to do everything and the intricacies of it, but now literally I have a vision of like a hand of a robot just grabbing and picking and grabbing and picking and putting everything together. And I remember how people were now saying they're no longer in the motor industry because it's been taken over. It's more efficient now. We use robots. The same thing across the board. When AI kicks in, or as it's kicking in, and it's being modeled off of human beings, the efficiency that it can produce for many businesses um, will ultimately probably cause some displacement or fear of job displacement. I can see that from the financial standpoint of a business. It's making it run more efficiently. It's probably more cost effective.
Right.
Ultimately, ultimately, it's probably helping with any type of mistake, human error that may happen. So I can see the job displacement happening over a course of time in many different industries. I think about my industry, the dance. As I said, I'm a dance owner, dance company of Distinguished Dance. And some of the things that we use or can use AI for is to do some of the managerial work or having a personal assistant, which therefore takes the place of someone who may be working the front desk or allows us to work more efficiently behind the scenes, getting choreography, planning concepts, all of that we can input. I mean, chat GPT, we can input stuff and it, automatically kicks out things for even our industry where we physically need to move, right? Like we
Right.
can't just an AI in a dance world, but actually we really can. So it's just kind of amazing how you can see these things evolve and slowly start to take shape in the world in the many different places that we live in, and see how AI is ultimately affecting, whether good or bad, but ultimately affecting and has its hand in all the different industries that are currently using it.
Yes. Yes. Most definitely. You brought up some good points too, but it's just like in like the Walmarts and Targets and stores like that, when we were used to individuals ringing us up, and then they tried a couple lines with the automated uh, registers, and then you thought, okay, so they can't do produce. So if I got produce, I have. But now they've figured out how to even do the produce. You can do the gift cards. You can just do anything at these things. It's like,
Right.
okay, how they know the difference? Difference in, okay, they got a little barcode on there, so that's how they know. You put it on the little glass, and the glass is not only there for scanning, it's reading the barcodes, and it can weigh it at the same time, and it's just you know, and then okay, so we
Well,
don't need as many workers.
I'll even chime in too. Like I said, I have years of experience in healthcare, specifically in the cardiac industry. And we have devices that we can implant that can read. And pacemakers and defibrillators, I think, count as that too. But this is a different type of device where we implant it into the patient and it can kick out and tell us the rhythm and then kind of decipher what rhythm is true and what is not. So it only sends you certain things. So in that instance, you're pulling away from the human knowledge of trying to recognize something, and AI is only going to send you abnormal rhythms in this cardiac world that I am familiar with. So it's across the board, how it's being used. It's amazing, good and bad again, but it is amazing.
Most definitely. And if you just joined us, our topic today is PACA, PACA, which stands for pros and cons of AI. So please make sure that you share this, put your comments in. We would love to see them. So we talked about some cons. So now we want to talk about some pros. And I'm going to talk about the first one, which is increased efficiency. And you would think this is what it's all about. We're going to be more efficient. We're going to get more done with better quality and all of this good stuff. So you think about what's one of the biggest things that can slow a lot of businesses down, and that's if the machinery goes down. But with AI, they can tell ahead of time if something is on the verge of maybe breaking down. That's just amazing. I think ahead of time. And so before it even breaks down and slows you down, I can let you know so you can take care of that. I think that is amazing. With the market being unpredictable, with the supply and demand, having AI and when people can go in and program machinery, they can do a better job of telling you further advance about supply and demand. So, I've noticed a lot of stores now, you go in and you see empty shelves. Why are you seeing empty? because they have tried to predict during this month how much of this product are we going to sell, but they're not doing a good job of it. But with AI, if they utilize those principles, then they should do a better job and know what products to get in, if they need to double the inventory so that they will not run out of products. Because there's nothing like going to the store for something that you really need and it's not.
Absolutely.
That is one thing that can really help you with. And this was something I didn't know until last week. It says that AI also has powered writing tools. And I was walking through from the kitchen to the breakfast area, and I heard Barack Obama's name mentioned, and I looked at TV, and he was showing the machine that we have at the White House that actually does their signatures for them. I don't know why I didn't know they had one of those. So, that's AI. So you imagine like all those bills, all the things that they have to sign, that could give them copper time. So that is something that is really, really good and have writing tools that are utilized. I know for Christmas, I had my husband to purchase, and if I don't pull it out, he's going to get on to me because he said, "You sure you're going to use that?" I actually he bought me a tablet. It's about the same size as my iPad, but it has special paper, and so I can take notes on it. And when I'm done, I click a button and it types it up for me. I can send it to my computer or whatever. How neat is that? I didn't think about it when I told him I wanted it, but that's AI.
Yeah.
That's really good. The human workforce, uh, the customer service. Like I know I just gave a ding to customer service, but it's not all bad. I mean, you think about with the HSN, you on TV, whatever, seeing barcodes on your TV, so you don't even have to get on order anything. Now you just scan it. Um, I took my TV. I have Xfinity, and I had the old boxes. So I got streaming. Well, streaming is connected to AI. So now when I want to connect a certain app to my TV, oh, I can use the barcode, or either I can just take my phone and connect my TV to this platform. It's like, okay, how amazing is that? So it is really, really helpful, and it's doing a lot of things and taking less time. So if we can be more efficient with less time, that's a great thing. So AI is helping individuals with decision making as well. So, it's like, huh? With decision making? And according to my research, now, I'm not the expert, but it says that the different degrees of AI include automation and decision support. So you put all of these into different systems and it can actually help a person that's working on a project or whatever. They have AI tools that will assist them in making those decisions and coming up with a better outcome for the project that they're working on. So I think that's a win-win.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's great. Those are really great points. And once again, you bring up things, and I'm like, I didn't even think about that being AI with the streaming and connecting, and it's really and kind of engulfed in everything that we do these days. And with that being said, it also allows for job creation, and almost everything that you said, literally almost everything that you said. Kind of from the business perspective, allows businesses to scale their businesses because of the efficiency. Just take Netflix, for instance, or the streaming. Um, when it's more accessible, there's higher demand for it. So then the business is allowed to, number one, allow more movies and get more people in to create more things. But then they also probably need the support to help the business grow. And AI is allowing all of that. So it's allowing that job creation because it's scaling businesses, which I think is really amazing. And as you pointed out too, there's, good and bad to both sides. So as much as we're saying AI is maybe too efficient to where it can take the place of human beings, it's also allowing, like I said, businesses to scale and grow and to allow more job opportunities. Um, so I think it's kind of a double-edged sword how you look at it. It's very unique and vital to the way our society now moves in this day and age, and kind of bring it back to personal AI. As much as I'm saying in the dance world, it can take away a choreographer's opportunity because you just type in, "Hey, I want to make up a couple 8 counts to this song. What do I do?" And AI will literally just spit it out. But at the same time, a choreographer can do that, especially a choreographer who needs to think of something like real quick. AI can spit that out, but then the choreographer can take it and actually create it and make it imaginative and really add some level of emotions to it. So it can do that in the business world. It can, from my perspective, it can also help us create budgets. And once again, when we know our budgets, then we can hire people on to help us. So there's many different facets where AI allows that job creation to take place and allow opportunities for people that maybe didn't have that or didn't understand how to apply some of the classic business models to then allow it to grow and expand based upon asking questions, like you said, specific questions, and then producing a business model. I do have a question for you, and maybe you've heard of this. Um, have you ever seen where people can like literally just put in AI, give me a, let's say, 12-month or 6-month plan where I can scale my business, and it literally spits out to the T a strategy for them? Have you ever heard of people doing that?
No, but as I was researching, I was seeing that it can do all this stuff. That's I want to say scary, but it's not really scary, but I guess it's amazing, you know?
Yeah, I think it takes the limit off of what you think is possible because literally AI is telling you, like, this is how you do it. And we're trusting that AI is accurate. Of course, there's going to be some things that it can't account for because that's just how the world is. But again, it's just using it as a tool, knowing that, hey, if I want to go from point A to point B, I can just ask AI how to do that. And it will give me a strategy plan that, for the most part, is surefire to work, which I think is pretty cool. I haven't used it, but I think it's pretty cool that, someone's able to program something like that to help others.
Yes, it is all amazing. And like I say, that's where the world is going. And as when you were talking about your dance and the choreography and all of this stuff, and I was thinking about my nephew. I was having one of my events and I had him to record a song for me. And he got on and he said, Siri, play. And he told it what song to play. And I was like, okay. I remember you have to run over and put your music on and come back. But he just told it to play what he wanted it to play. So,
My nephews and my son, who range from at the time 4 to 8, can all go to Siri and say, "Hey, we want to have a dance party. Play this," and it'll just start playing songs that are right along that track. And I'm like, "Well, wait, what happened here? Like, you guys aren't even in kindergarten. What do you do?" Like, it's really amazing. It is amazing.
yes, it's good. So, if this is something that you have never thought about or you thought a lot about, know that you can go out there and do research. You can ask questions because it's here. It's not going anywhere. So the more we know, the more that we can be safe. We want to use. Who doesn't want to have something that's more efficient? But you want to make sure that you're keeping your personal data secure and everything. So check it out. Do some research.
Yes, absolutely. Have fun and be safe though with it.
Oh yeah. Yes, as well. It's like my husband now. It took us forever to get him to get a smartphone. And then he most recently got the iPhone 16, and he just does everything with his phone. How do you do this? Well, what? I was like, okay.
Yes, it does make life easy. It does make it a lot easier, I will say.
Yes. So I love this conversation. I am always trying to come up with topics that are relevant, topics that you want to hear about. So if it's something that you want to hear about and we're not talking about it, you got to put it in the comments or email it to me. I put my email address up there. But you have to let us know because we want to be here for you and cover what you need. So I hope this one helped. Please make sure that you share, and give everyone else something to think about. And especially, we talk about our young men. I know a lot of them know much more than I do about this. So this is a good topic for them. This would have been a good presentation for them. So share it with them, let them check it out. And so they may come back with some questions or, say, I would like to come on and talk about that. Hey, I would love it. Have an expert on here. So
Yeah.
please make sure you share. Yeah. So Tonya, do you have anything else that you want to share or anything before we sign off?
Nope. I think nope. Just using AI responsibly, which given your tips and tools that you've used today, I think hopefully make our lives more efficient while also growing our business and allowing us to have more time with our families too.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So thank everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page so that if something goes wrong on Facebook end, you can always still get the content from Build Your Best Life. Thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. And I'll see you next week. And thank you so much again, Tonya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.